Hello and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Natasha Sweet. We begin in Washington, where President Obama meets with congressional leaders for the first time since Republicans took control of Capitol Hill. The president acknowledged ideological differences between him and GOP leaders, but hopes both sides can work past that. Flanked by Speaker of the House John Boehner and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Obama says there's a number of issues that they agree upon.
On each of these issues, I'm going to be listening to everybody around this table, and I'm hopeful that with a spirit of cooperation and putting America first, we can be in a position where at the end of this year we'll be able to look back and say we're that much better off than we were when we started the year.
The president says he's willing to cooperate on issues such as cybersecurity, tax and trade laws, and streamlining the government. However, the display of optimism comes after weeks of contentious debate, including threats of presidential vetoes. And we have our D.C. team following this story. Here's Augusta Cassida and David Brody.
President Obama has spent the past 2 weeks issuing veto threats on Republican priorities and pushing his own policies ahead of his State of the Union address. But on Tuesday, he met with a bipartisan group of leaders from Capitol Hill to discuss the agenda for the 114th Congress. The optics oozed with optimism and cooperation in the new year.
I think that there's going to be opportunities for us to work together on trade. There's going to be opportunities for us to work together on simplifying the tax system and making sure everybody's paying their fair share. There are going to be opportunities for us to streamline government so it's more responsive.
But here's the reality. Opposition has already dominated the start of 2015, sparking familiar battles on areas like the Keystone XL pipeline and immigration. White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest echoes that disagreement over a few things should not be a deal breaker for cooperation on others. And he hopes the GOP will change their antagonistic tactics and instead find common ground with the administration.
We continue to hope that they will, and continue to hope that they're actually serious now about not just being the opposition, but actually assuming the responsibility of governing the country, which is a responsibility that they have now that they're in the majority in both the House and the Senate. And if they are willing to bring that spirit of cooperation and search for common ground, they will find a very willing partner on this end of Pennsylvania Avenue.
But Earnest added that Republicans have already introduced 5 pieces of legislation that they know the president strongly opposes, pointing fingers at the GOP for picking a fight. So the question remains, will this meeting at the White House ultimately lead to progress on key pieces of legislation? My colleague David Brody is up on Capitol Hill with that part of the story. David?
Augusta, the mood up here on Capitol Hill is filled with a whole bunch of skepticism. The sense within Republican circles is that this is a president that really has shown that he's going to govern by executive order, and so there's not too much excitement that anything will really get done when it comes to big issues like immigration, for instance, or reforming the tax code. Just look at what's happening with the XL Keystone pipeline. More talk today by the president of a veto threat. There are some Republicans up here on Capitol Hill that hope the president will reconsider vetoing this once the legislation gets to his desk, but don't hold your breath. To get some perspective on all of this, we spoke with Utah Senator Orrin Hatch. He has been up here a very long time, and we asked him whether he believes anything of substance can get done with this president.
I haven't seen it yet. I like the president personally. He says he is, but I never see any evidence of that. In fact, I see evidence that he doesn't want to work with Congress. He just wants to do things on his own through executive orders. Well, you can only push executive orders so far. And I think sooner or later that's going to catch up with the president.
There is one potential area of agreement between the White House and this Republican-controlled Congress. A top-ranking source in the House GOP leadership told me that Republicans think they can work out some sort of solution with the administration on cybersecurity issues. The House passed quite a few bills on this last year, but the Democrat-controlled Senate never brought them up. Other than that, though, it is slim pickings up here on the Hill. David Brody, One America News, Washington.